I think, contrary to popular opinion, I think that our players enjoyed themselves as much as any place they could have gone to a bowl game. We were so excited about being invited because we were lucky enough to be here 2 years ago and were treated as nice as any bowl game I've ever been to. I didn't know if our players who have been to SeaWorld before, some of them many times, and been to the zoo before, some of them many times, I didn't know how they would accept that. But as I wandered around and watched them with the dolphins and the sea lions and all those sort of things, it was like little kids. They had big smiles on their faces. They were having a great time. In fact, we did opposite what Bronco did. We did those things and then went to practice. Well, we had at SeaWorld, we had a couple guys almost miss the bus because they were having so much fun. But I appreciate the bowl people in the Red Jackets because we're treated nicer, or I've been treated nicer here, and our team has been treated nicer here than several of the bowl games we've been to before. So I really appreciate that. Now, as the game goes, I mean, I'm ready to play, and I know Bronco is too, and I think our teams are ready to play. I think it is a great matchup because we believe in the same things, and we don't have the same personality, but we kind of coach the same way. And the most important thing in both programs is the players play as hard as they can and play to their abilities. And even when you win, it's exciting, but if you lose and after you watch the film, your players did everything they could, as hard as they could, to win that game, and they didn't, you can be satisfied as a coach. And we look at bowl experience as a reward. That does not mean we don't want to win. We want to win, but they're here, the two teams are here because they deserve to be here. They deserve to be here because they've had great seasons. And so we treat it as a reward. We practice the same, and if they're not practicing as hard as they normally do, we start practice over. And the primary goal is to win the game, but leading up to the game is a reward for our players. Questions?
Coach, how's Eric Jenkins doing? Is he going to be playing?
He's going to play. He practiced the last 2 days, yeah. It's easy, Bronk. You answered all the questions.
You should have gone first.
Yeah, I should have gone first, yeah.
So people in Utah State that followed the Mountain West over several years wondered why was San Diego State always seeming to underperform, and you and Brady go in there and things like that. And even when you were in New Mexico, other places, were you seeing maybe a diamond in the rough there, what the Aztecs could be?
Well, I was lucky after coaches, Bronco hasn't experienced this, thank goodness, but I've been around a long time, and I've been asked to leave town many times. And I've been asked to go to a better job a couple of times, which is nice. And I was lucky when I was out of work that Brady Hoke and I were friends, and he had this job. And he said, "You want to come?" And I had nowhere to go. So I said, "Sure." And then when I got here, what I found was a bunch of kids that wanted to be good. Now, I have no idea how things were before we got here. I have no idea. And that's not any of my business. And there's no reason for me to even speculate on what it was. But when we got here, the talent level wasn't near what I had thought from the other sideline. I mean, there's this image that this team was so talented and never could win. That was a falsehood. That was absolutely false. Because when I actually started working with the kids, the talent level was not anywhere near what I thought it was when I was standing on the other sidelines playing against them. But what were here was a bunch of great kids that wanted to be good. And if you have a bunch of great kids that want to be good, guess what? It's really fun to coach, really fun to coach. And then you go out there and they do the best they can, and you win a few and you lose a few. And if you win the ones at the right time during the season, you get on a roll, they get confident, and you get to go to a bowl game. It sounds simple, it is simple. As long as you got kids that want to work hard, it's simple. And then the coaches have to go out and get enough talented players so you can win enough games to go to a bowl game.
So what do you think the change was that you first brought to the team? You said the talent level wasn't what you thought it was on the other sidelines. What did you change when you became head coach?
I have no idea, because I don't know what happened before I got here.
Well, are you recruiting different talent than what you saw when you first got here?
I think we're recruiting the same kids. Obviously, we're always trying to improve our talent level. We're always trying to get better players. But I think more important, and I'm not going to speak for Bronco, but I think he believes this too. More important, it's what kind of kids they are. They've got to be able to play. Don't get me wrong. They got to be able to play. But the kids have to be willing to do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go to school. They're supposed to get decent grades. They're supposed to graduate. Guess what? They're supposed to show up on time. They're supposed to dress the right way when they're walking around and act, they're supposed to do things the right way. And you can find out who those kids are when you recruit. And if you get a bunch of those kids in your program and they're pretty good players, guess what? They exceed their athletic ability. And so right now I'm really lucky because I got good guys.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the same thing I asked Bronco, just as far as sometimes these games are treated more as exhibitions and some teams really come out, determined to win. I've seen teams do both things. As a coach, what do you have to do to make sure that the guys are ready to play in these type of games?
I think it's a real delicate balance, and I don't think you ever know until the game starts. Obviously, we try to practice the same way. Today is Friday. I mean, for us, it's Friday, and we have a certain deal we do on Friday. Yesterday was Thursday, and we have a certain way we practice on Thursdays, and now I'm going to get confused, okay? But we try to take 4 days out and do the same practice schedules all the way through until game day. And so today we're going to separate the non-travel squad guys from the travel squad guys because the travel squad guys are the guys that play. So we're going to try to treat Friday with the travel squad guys just like we do any other game. Now, does that work? Well, it's worked a couple times, but it hasn't worked some other times either. So it's more how the players react during the game. I expect this to be a very hard-fought, close football game, but I've been around long enough to know it might not be. I mean, it might be one-sided one way or the other, and both of us defensive coaches would like it to be 3-0, 6-3, 10-7. But I've watched enough bowl games, it might be 50-49 too. I mean, you never know until you start playing.
Is it easier or more difficult in your mind, just the fact that you're at home and, some of the same routines being here in San Diego?
I think it's both. I think it's easier because Bronco has to do his meetings in meeting rooms over there. They had to set up their whole system. We just go to our offices and do it right in our offices. So the kids are used to, we're in our same locker room, the kids are used to all that. What is different is there's a lot more distractions at home. Because when you go off somewhere, it's the official party that goes and very few of the other people. When you're at home, all the guys my guys run around with are here. They're coming to the game. All their buddies are here. Their families are all here. Their girlfriends are all here. There's a lot more distractions when you're at home than when you go off someplace. But then we got the advantage of we practice on our same practice field. We meet in our same meeting rooms. We're going to be in the not thanks to BYU, we're going to be in our same locker room because they had first choice and they were nice enough to let us have the one we're normally in. So all that is better, okay? But the distractions are more.
Rocky Bronco talked eloquently yesterday about what his senior class means to him, and he's going to miss them. How about your guys? What is this senior class, these guys?
What'd you say, you have 29?
29, mostly.
Well, that's a lot of seniors. Yeah, that's, to me, we only have 15 seniors, and I think there's only 6 of them that were recruited, 6 or 7 of them that were recruited before I got here. And the transformation between, over the last 4 years that I've seen, there's been a bond, and I'm sad to see them go. Anything else?
Lucky, can you talk defensively, having to scheme for not knowing which quarterback necessarily you'll see or potentially both of them?
Well, I said this about 10 days ago. He's going to play both quarterbacks. Now, can you tell me now?
I like to build the intrigue.
Okay.
It's good for ratings.
Yeah, it's good for ratings. That's a good one. If you don't know which quarterback you're going to, you run the same game plan no matter which quarterback's in there. Other than, and I'll give away some secrets. They're not secrets to him, but I'll give away some secrets. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. Okay? So when you see the left-handed quarterback go in, some of your blitzes come from his left side or our right side. When it's the right-handed quarterback, the blitzes come from the other side. And the dingbat that's calling the defense better understand that, which happens to be me. Okay, so you better understand which quarterback's in there, but you can't have a different game plan for either one because you don't have enough time to practice the different game plan. The other thing is, you know, Bronco said something about the wives are happy. I was sad to hear that because I thought it'd be better off if they were upset and then the team wouldn't be ready to play. And then you always want to hate the other team because that's a motivation factor. Well, last night we were lucky enough to be at Make-A-Wish Foundation deal together, and Bronco had some of his players there, and I went over and talked to them and introduced myself, and guess what? They're good guys too. Just like our team is good guys. So you can't be mad at each other, but they'll play hard. Both teams will play hard. It'll be a great game.